they had the Bennigan's Big Burger, and it was like this huge patty, like this big. And usually I would get that, on hangover days. That was really good. But it wasn't as much meat and cheese as this is, I don't think.
Yeah, that's a lot.
When's Beetlegeist 2 come out?
September.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I wanna be excited for it.
Yeah.
It looks fine. The characters look fine.
Mm-hmm.
They look like a Beetlejuice thing, but
you're just
is it gonna?
I think
can it stand on its own? I don't think it can, because you already have to be familiar with the grandpa character Jeffrey Jones having died.
Well, I was gonna say that's probably the reason you don't think it'll be successful.
How are you gonna make this movie work without Jeffrey Jones?
He shared so many important files. How are you gonna get rid of him and just like? I love that shit when they just unceremoniously kill the character off camera, and they're like, there's so much bad shit attached to this person. We just had to totally pretend they don't exist now.
The classic example, Charlie Sheen.
Charlie.
2.5 Men.
Oh, yeah.
2.5 Men, they drop a piano on him.
And then there's this. Have you ever heard of this show called Leverage?
I don't think
It's like
so.
one of those shows on Ion and these shows that like the TV Guide channel and stuff. And so it's not like a top tier show, but it's got its moments. It's like one of those kind of cheesier ones. But the actors are good enough to where, especially Beth Riesgraf, the actors are good enough to where they bring life into the series. This series. I always see it on the Samsung TV and Sling TV. On the free channels, because that's kind of like one of the shows that they run on these free channels. And there were 2 incarnations. There was the original one from 2008 to 2012, I believe. And then there was the reboot. They both starred kind of the same cast. It was about these guys that were criminals, and they turned their lives around, and they got back at other criminals who were cheating people, right?
Oh.
Yeah. Beth Riesgraf, by the way, ex-wife of Jason Lee, of Mallrats fame. But
not Jennifer Jason Lee.
No. But they where the hell was I going with that?
Leverage. Shows where they unceremoniously kill off
yeah.
their main
So
character.
the main character was Timothy Hutton. He was like the guy that like brought this team together because he felt bad about what a shitty person he was. And so he brought this team together, and they busted criminals or got people's money back. They were the good guys. And then in the reboot, they had to write Timothy Hutton, his character, off because there were rape allegations.
Oh,
Whoops.
no.
And so the opening... Like the first episode is them gathered at his funeral, and, and it's he died of a heart attack. And you're just like, man, that's fucking cold-blooded, bro.
So these are some other shows that apparently killed off their main character. I don't know if Game of Thrones is a good example. I don't think they killed him off because of his actor, or like the actor being a problem.
Yeah, what's his name? Sean. What is it?
William
Sean
Scott?
Bean. No,
Oh.
Sean Bean right here. That's not Sean Stifler on Game of Thrones. They just put Stifler on Game of Thrones, because sometimes they would throw in cameos there. But I felt the cameos always held the tone of the show. Like you didn't ever have Tom Cruise on there or someone crazy famous.
Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, but he was just some guard, and it was implied that he was killed later too.
I hope so.
The Night King, the Wire guy. But were these? Well, John Ritter died. He died, so I guess they're like, well, can't we just Weekend at Bernie's him? We'll change the show to 8 Rules about Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah, 2.5 Men, The OC. I don't know. This is just what came up when I did a
Misha
cursory search.
Barton. She had to leave the show for mental health reasons. She was the kid in The Sixth Sense who was barfing all the time.
Oh, the one whose mom gave her Pine Sol.
Yeah, but she still barfed all the time. It's kind of the kid's fault. Misfits? What? Oh, yeah, that was another show.
6 Feet Under. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
but-
some of these are probably a little better than others.
And then, of course, you had Paul Rubens, who was
Pee-wee.
Pee-wee.
I don't think they wrote him off. They just stopped making stuff for him.
Well, I think he had ended Pee-wee's Playhouse, and then he was between jobs. Charmed that's a good little show, man. Those
A good little show.
yeah, those ladies are classic in the '90s.
I did enjoy it. I also enjoyed Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
That was good. Supernatural's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but none of these the people were kicked off for sharing files.
Yeah.
Like Jeffrey Jones and allegations against Timothy Hutton. But that's pretty cold-blooded when they just when your character dies off screen.
Dude, Charlie Sheen got done so hard because his piano jingle writer did a song and they drop a fucking piano on him to kill him.
Yeah, well, they brought him back just to kill him. Like, he was dead. The whole second part of when Ashton Kutcher takes over, they say that he fell on a electrified.
Wait, they retconned it 2 seasons later?
Well, they said that when he died, he fell on I think a sub rail, like a
third rail,
yeah. And he got electrocuted and exploded or burst into flames. And then later on, they're like, oh, they misidentified or something. Something happened. He's still alive. He faked his death.
They wanted him dead twice.
Well, it was Chuck Lorre's way of saying fuck you to Charlie Sheen one more time. And since then, they've actually reconciled, and I think they've worked together since then. So that's kind of funny.
That was a crazy time, right?
But the word is that, when he was doing all that crazy shit, Charlie Sheen, when he was doing, being fucking nutsoid and talking about tiger blood, it was because he was dealing with his AIDS diagnosis.
Banging 7-gram rocks, dude.
Yeah, and just going fucking nuts out of his mind on all these drugs. So it was interesting to see him meet with the mainstream media, all fucking crazy and methed out.
Going on his tours. With nothing really to perform.
Nothing. He wasn't a stand-up. He'd just go out there and say, I'm winning! And then
we're going to capitalize on this momentum. Yeah. What an era. What was that, 2011?
Yeah, 2011, 2012.
Yeah.